Talk about returning to the scene of the crime.
Political cartoonist Terry Mosher, known and feared for decades as Ailsin, approaches a spot where 12 years ago, with the stroke of a pen, he felled one of Canada's most powerful prime ministers.
So I have Mulroney lying in the snow, in effect, really quite startled looking. His eyes are very startled after being tripped up by Trudeau, who's of course wandering off in the distance with a big smile on his face.
More mischievous than malicious, the scene drawn had that typical Ailsin feel. It actually could have happened.
Mulroney, we knew, was quitting. He was buying a house in Westmount, and it was a quiet day. Didn't know what to draw. I'm in the Gazette cafeteria. I overheard two conversations about Mulroney's new house in Westmount. So I did a sketch of the house, and I imagined Mulroney coming back to Montreal, this was in the winter, and going out for a walk, right? But who's famous for taking walks in Montreal up in the hill but Trudeau? So here's the cartoon I came up with, actually, just a drawing of the house, as you can see in the background there. That gives an idea of, and then Mulroney sort of tripped up there with Trudeau walking away in the distance. And Mill is in the window calling the bounty starting. And I didn't think any more of it. I thought, oh, this is sort of an eminently forgettable cartoon you just draw for a chuckle for people in Montreal doing it. I didn't even bother syndicating the cartoon. I had no idea the kerfuffle this was going to cause. Barbara McDougall had been in town that particular day and appeared on a talk show and began denouncing the cartoons as if somehow I had drawn Mulroney dead in the snow. Well, that wasn't it at all. And by that afternoon, I was denounced in the House of Commons. I can't tell you what a great day that was. Out of absolutely nothing, the greatest day of my professional life.
The presses of the Montreal Gazette. It and dozens of syndicated papers, as well as Maclean's magazine, bring Terry Mosher's take on the most important events of the day to millions of Canadians. Over 4 decades on the job, the master caricaturist, now 63 years old, has carved his way into the collective consciousness of the nation, taking to task presidents, prime ministers, premiers, and popes.
I'm not right or left or anything. Bit of an anarchist at heart, I think. Like, just poke fun at them all, you know? And they pay me good bucks. I mean, I'm laughing.
He's somber when he has to be, but more often than not so cuttingly witty that journalist Rex Murphy called him a barber with a chainsaw. Anxious editors sometimes urge him to put that chainsaw down.
It was a brilliant cartoon. It was this great big pig, except that the face was Jean Drapeau. And I called him up and I said, we can't run this. This is actually libelous. We can't run this. Why not? It's just a picture of a pig. Terry, it's a picture of the mayor of Montreal. No, it's not. It's just a picture of a pig.
Even those closest to the caricaturist are sometimes taken aback.
He often shows me the cartoons before they're submitted to the editor, because I also work at the paper. And so if I cringe, he knows he has a really good one.
You want to get out and mail him a stink bomb or something.
Sometimes cruel, but cruel in an unusual way. It's not a gratuitous act of cruelty.
He's an equal opportunity jabber and stabber. He jabs and stabs at everyone. He'll mug anybody. It's a good thing he's a cartoonist, because otherwise maybe he'd be knifing people instead of drawing them.
When not hacking up politicians, Terry sketches an only partly imaginary world featuring a new product at the dollar store, northern weather at its bleakest, or how Canadian women talk dirty when the temperature drops.
Whether it's highbrow or lowbrow, I don't give a damn. I really enjoy it.
But the man so adept at unmasking others is a bit of a mystery to those around him.
I don't know the deep inside of Terry. I don't know if anybody does. He's a fairly square and forbidding guy in some ways, but his cartoons are him. I think you look at his cartoons for a while, you understand who Terry Mosher is. He reveals his kind of wackiness, his disorder, his anger, his rage at government, his fury at bureaucrats. You see his hatred of kind of intolerant people.
I used to wonder, I mean, is that partly why he's successful at what he does? Because he's got that kind of, those demons eating at him or whatever?
Some of the people who protest the loudest do so because they're the softest and the most outraged by what they see around them.
The man who would be a scourge to Canadian politicians was born in close proximity to a lot of them, in Ottawa in 1942.
I think he was born with a pencil in his hand. When he got his allowance, he never bought candy or anything. It was always pencil and paper. He was always drawing.
Terry Mosher was the only son of a working mother and a rather whimsical father who was by turn freelance journalist, writer, and even store detective.
We were never poor. I never thought of myself as poor. Just there were times we didn't have any money.
The Moshers moved a lot, from Ottawa to Toronto to Montreal and back to Toronto again. Terry went to some 14 different schools, excelling at few of them and getting kicked out of more than one.
We were terribly disappointed, you know, because we knew that he had a brain, but he wasn't using it.
I was a very shy kid initially, but then in my teens I turned into quite a rascal, bordering on juvenile delinquency, if you will. Began to drink then too, actually. I came here because I didn't know what else to do, quite honestly. I had a drawing ability, and you know, what to do with me. Do I just immediately get a job in a grocery store packing bags? What do I do? So I just decided I'll go to art school and see how it works out, having no idea that this would be it. My alma mater there. Didn't play much football though. Central Tech was particularly important because it was here where the coin dropped. I learned how to draw at this school, which of course made all of this possible. But I owe it all to one guy. I used to watch this guy draw in life class. His name was Bob Ross. And he was a bit of an old character, a curmudgeon. But God, he drew magically with the charcoal. And I would watch him draw the model's arm and move in on the nose and all kinds of things. And watching that, I'm not sure how it works. It's a process of osmosis, I suppose, but watching it, I got it.